Imagine stepping onto a crowded Malaysian platform, the boards flicker, delayed commuters, check watches, and a tired diesel train finally pulls in. Now imagine a different scene. Sleek new trains arriving every few minutes, quiet, fast, and packed with people smiling because they made their connections. Which future would you pick? Today, Malaysia announced a deal to bring in 62 new passenger trains from China, a deal worth about 10.7 billion ringgit, roughly 2.4 billion US dollars, to be paid over a 30-year lease. That number alone stings. It's huge, and the lease length raises eyebrows. Some people cheer, "Finally modern trains." Others ask, "Why China? Why not Japan?" This video is the story behind that headline. We're not just counting carriages. We're asking what this choice means for daily commuters, the tourism industry, and the country's wallet for the next 3 decades. Is this a fast solution that solves an urgent problem, or a long-term bill Malaysia will struggle with? Over the next sections, I'll show you the real reasons Malaysia needed trains fast, what the China deal actually includes, the promises the government made, like local factories and tech transfer, and the hard questions critics are raising about money, dependence, and whether Japan could have been a better fit. In 2024, Malaysia signed a landmark agreement with China's CRRC Corporation to bring in 62 new passenger trains, a deal valued at around RM 10.7 billion or 2.4 billion US dollars to be paid over 30 years. But this isn't just about buying trains, it's about modernizing the entire rail network quickly and efficiently. Here's the breakdown of the trains. 36 3-section electric multiple units for medium-distance commuter routes, 12 6-section electric multiple units for longer, high-capacity lines, and 14 6-section diesel multiple units for routes that aren't fully electrified. This mix ensures that Malaysia can expand coverage, improve frequency, and serve both urban and rural areas. One reason Malaysia chose China is CRRC's local footprint. Since 2015, CRRC has operated its first overseas manufacturing base in Malaysia. That means most of the trains are produced locally, and spare parts, maintenance, and assembly are handled domestically. By 2024, around 90% of Malaysia's rolling stock was already CRRC made, making the company a natural partner for rapid expansion. The deal also includes local ownership and technology transfer clauses. Malaysia will maintain a majority stake in CRRC's local operations, and the company must meet at least 40% localization requirements. That ensures Malaysian workers and engineers gain experience in modern rail technology, turning the deal into more than just imported trains. It's an investment in local expertise. The government's plan is phased. From 2024 to 2027, all 62 trains will be introduced, gradually increasing network coverage and improving reliability. By using a leasing model, Malaysia speeds up deployment without overburdening the budget up front. But this isn't just about numbers and logistics. The deal promises real benefits: better service for commuters, reduced delays, faster travel times, and a more sustainable transportation system. Next, we'll look at these benefits in detail and how they could transform daily life in Malaysia. The China train deal isn't just a headline figure. It promises tangible improvements for everyday life and the economy. First, the leasing model allows Malaysia to get trains on the tracks much faster than a traditional purchase would. Instead of waiting years for production and delivery, trains start rolling between 2024 and 2027, immediately easing congestion and improving reliability. For commuters, that means shorter travel times, fewer delays, and more comfortable rides. Imagine a city where a train arrives every few minutes, traffic jams decrease, and people can finally trust the schedule. That reliability doesn't just make daily life easier. It encourages more people to use trains, which further reduces road congestion and pollution. The deal also creates local jobs. With 40% localization requirements, Malaysian engineers, technicians, and assembly workers will be directly involved in building and maintaining these trains. This is a real boost for skills development and workforce growth in the transportation sector. Over time, Malaysia could even become a regional hub for train manufacturing and maintenance, using CRRC's expertise as a foundation. Environmental benefits are another major plus. Electrified trains reduce reliance on diesel vehicles, cutting carbon emissions and improving air quality in cities. Over time, a modern rail network can become a green alternative to road transport, supporting sustainable growth and aligning with global environmental goals. Finally, these improvements ripple through the economy. Faster, more reliable trains make tourism easier, support local businesses, and increase productivity. Every minute saved in travel translates into more economic activity, more satisfied tourists, and better quality of life for Malaysians. But no plan is without risks. Critics worry that a 30-year lease and heavy reliance on China could carry long-term challenges. Let's explore those concerns next. While the benefits of Malaysia's new train deal are clear, the plan has sparked concerns and criticism. The biggest worry is financial. A 30-year lease spreads costs over decades, but the total repayment could end up being much higher than an outright purchase. Some critics ask whether future governments will be able to sustain these payments without cutting other essential programs. Another point of contention is dependence on China. By committing so heavily to CRRC, Malaysia could risk over-reliance on a single foreign supplier for technology, parts, and expertise. Skeptics worry about geopolitical implications. What happens if political or trade tensions arise over the next 3 decades? And then there's the question of Japan. Historically, Japan has been a leader in high-speed rail with the Shinkansen, famous for safety and reliability. But Japan has recently withdrawn from projects in Southeast Asia, including the Singapore-Kuala Lumpur high-speed rail and delays in Vietnam's North-South project. These withdrawals, coupled with cost overruns and slow timelines, have hurt Japan's reputation as a dependable partner in the region. Critics argue that Japan could have been a safer choice, especially in terms of technology and long-term reliability. However, the government counters that China offered speed, flexibility, and local manufacturing, making it a practical choice given Malaysia's urgent needs. Ultimately, the debate comes down to a balance, short-term gains versus long-term risks. The deal could modernize Malaysia's rail network quickly and generate jobs, but it also carries financial, political, and operational challenges that will need careful oversight over the next 3 decades. Next, we'll step back and look at the big picture, what Malaysia's choice really means for the country's future. Malaysia's decision to partner with China for new trains is about more than just transportation. It's a test of the country's economic strategy, industrial capability, and global positioning. On one hand, the deal could transform daily life. Commuters enjoy faster, more reliable trains, tourists move easily between cities, local factories train skilled workers, and environmental benefits reduce pollution. It's a vision of a modern Malaysia connected by efficient rail. On the other hand, the deal comes with long-term responsibilities. A 30-year lease is a serious financial commitment, and the reliance on a single foreign partner carries potential political and operational risks. The government must ensure that local ownership, localization, and technology transfer obligations are fully implemented to avoid dependence on imports or cost overruns. The big question for Malaysians, and for anyone watching, is, will this choice pay off in terms of convenience, economic growth, and national expertise, or will it become a burden that weighs on future budgets? Now it's your turn to weigh in. Do you trust China or Japan more to build Malaysia's rail future? What changes would you like to see in daily commuting? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to stay updated on this story and other infrastructure developments across Southeast Asia, Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. We'll keep bringing you the full story behind every major decision that shapes the region. With modern trains on the tracks, Malaysia has a chance to redefine public transportation for generations. But the road ahead requires careful planning, transparency, and oversight. The next 30 years will show whether this gamble was smart, or whether lessons must be learned from history.